The U.S. women's national team have claimed their second consecutive World Cup victory, exciting fans with a brilliant run throughout the season. Unfortunately, the celebration of female accomplishment cannot exist without being shadowed by the fake gender war politics of current year. In their vicious defeat of Thailand, the U.S. women's national team won 13-0.
Going forward, including Rapinoe, who runs on. Rapinoe with a goal. 9-0 U.S.
That's more goals than any team has ever scored in the World Cup, and also more than the U.S. men's team has scored in every World Cup since 2006 combined. The U.S. women's team is arguably the best the world currently has to offer, ranking officially as the #1 team in the league. But despite the women's team's amazing performance, members of the men's team still make more money. This has led to the women's team filing a federal lawsuit against U.S. soccer, citing gender discrimination. And even politicians like Kamala Harris and celebrity rap star Snoop Dogg have voiced support for the lawsuit, all more or less sharing the same sentiment of,
man, pay them ladies, man. Pay them girls what they worth.
Objectively, the performance displayed by the women's team dominates that of the men's team, and it's fair to demand they be rewarded for their success. However, the lawsuit misses an obvious explanation for the pay gap. FIFA ranked in more than $6.2 billion from the 2018 Men's World Cup, 49 times more than the projected earnings of the Women's 2019 World Cup, about $130 million. The revenue disparity is largely the result of U.S. men's soccer having a much bigger net audience watching and attending their games, more than twice the average viewership of the women's team. Yet despite this, the women's team is still excelling at a rate well above the men's team. Games are becoming more popular, the players are becoming cultural icons, the athleticism is unmatched, and with that, revenue is growing. But some supporters are suggesting to protest these unfair outcomes by boycotting the women's league, a faulty solution at best. In late July, 2 Democratic congresswomen introduced a House bill that would block funding for the 2026 Men's World Cup until the U.S. women's national team earns, quote, fair and equitable wages compared to the U.S. men's team. Additionally, West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin introduced a Senate version of the bill. Art Carden, associate professor of economics at Samford University, disagrees with the calls for boycott, instead favoring a more productive resolve. In his article for AIER, Carden says that in competitive markets, the intersection of workers' productivity and their best available alternatives determine their incomes. Hence, the way to increase their incomes is to make them more productive, give them better options, or both. To raise the wages of workers, siphoning the industry's revenue is probably the worst possible solution. You don't stop buying Big Macs to help McDonald's workers earn more, nor do you benefit low-wage sweatshop workers by boycotting Nike or Apple. With no consumer demand for their labor, what do you think happens to employees? They don't earn higher wages, if that's what you're thinking. Similarly, superstar athlete Megan Rapinoe understands the nature of supply and demand. During a recent airing of MSNBC's Maddow, when asked how people can best assist in expanding the opportunities and rewards for the women's team, Rapinoe responded with a sound proposal: increased demand.
In the moments immediately following the final whistle, you get that USA, USA chant, but equal pay along that same cadence.
Yeah.
I think fans want to know what they can do to support that fight.
Fans can come to games. Obviously, the national team games will be a hot ticket, but we have 9 teams in the NWSL. You can go to your league games. You can support that way. You can, buy players' jerseys. You can lend your support in that way. You can tell your friends about it. You can become season ticket holders. I think in terms of that, that's the easiest way for fans to get involved.
Players on the women's team already earn a greater overall percentage of their league's revenue than the men's team. All that's missing in this quest for social and financial justice is the consumer putting their money where their mouth is. Mutual benefit is what creates success. The answer to increasing profits should never be sanctioning demand. Freedom, markets, and the equality of competitive opportunity are what need be embraced. What needs rejection is the envy of unequal outcomes. If we want these amazing American athletes to earn more, the responsibility is on us, the consumers, to vote for them with our dollars. Or not.